Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the series that lets you experience different airsoft guns. This time around I want to show you something you either love or hate. It is the Glock, ladies and gentlemen, and this particular one is the WE Gen5 Glock 17, which is considered to be the best Glock for its price on the market. This replica cost me £125, and with an extra mag that I successfully lost at an airsoft game, the total was just over £150. Without further ado, let's feel it. Starting from the slide, you notice the quality of the material. It isn't as heavy as metal, but it isn't as light as plastic. Feels like something in between these two properties. It's a balance between authenticity to the real deal and practicality on the airsoft field. Pulling the slide back happens in two different paces. First pace is light, very easy to pull as the spring is relaxed. The inertia and the weight of the slide under gravity is enough to make it move, which is why there is the second pace. Now the entry to this pace feels like going over a small hump. This is where the barrel drops to allow the slide to go back further and a much stronger spring force is felt. This continues all the way to the end of slide travel for this gun, where the slide meets a solid wall. Releasing the slide is short, strict, and tactical. No slow rollovers or inertia buildups, unlike the Deagle, which I reviewed in the previous episode. It literally takes a split second for the spring to return the slide to its original position. You can almost say it's boring. Moving down to the slide lock, or the only thing that makes a gun slides a lot more fun to play with, we observe a small pad with grooves. That pad rests just next to your thumb when gripping this replica. The spring holding this button down is stiff, and I have had some very rare moments where it would prevent the slide from locking on the last round. When the slide is locked back, it takes very little force to release it. In fact, the force required is so little that just slamming a new mag into the gun will do the job. Trigger is interesting on this one. To squeeze the trigger, you have to first depress a small notch on it. Depressing the notch unlocks the trigger and you feel a moderately resistant travel zone up until the gun tells you it's ready to fire. You feel the jump from travel zone to the ready position because there is less resistance in the trigger, and it feels like your trigger locks into a certain position. Squeezing a good bit harder fires the gun in a very clicky manner. Small amount of tactile feedback is felt on the trigger finger. It is sharp and it is aggressive. Trigger release feels a bit rushed, but also controlled. Halfway through the release, you feel the trigger reset, after which your finger is guided to the end of its travel. Mag release on this gun has to be the nicest one I've ever got to feel. Large pad that sits within reach of your thumb is peak of gun ergonomics in theory, but unfortunately in practice I often found myself accidentally releasing the mag in a holster or while trying to perform trick reloads. Releasing the mag shoots out a blocky Glock mag. As with most gas-operated guns, the mag is hefty and leaves the gun fast under the right angles. Without it, the gun becomes extremely light. Inserting the mag back in could not be easier thanks to the chamfers on both the mag and the mag well. The mag goes back in a slick manner and locks into the gun once it reaches the top. The only resistance you feel while inserting the mag are a slight pressure change from the mag release, felt in the third quarter of insertion, and the very top of the body, which actually prevented me from locking the mag in. Gripping the gun feels incredibly ergonomic. Feels like the handle almost intuitively guides your palm and fingers into the right places that make your hand feel comfortable. This, as well as a tactile, stippled grip texture, make it feel incredible in hand. This gun is powered by green gas, but really feels like a CO2 gun when shooting. You feel the kick, but it's not enough to produce recoil. This gun's center of mass is in the handle, exactly where the mag is. Basically what this means is that you can acquire targets quicker. Build quality is exceptional, and although you will start hearing a bit more rattle as the time goes on, nothing ever feels like it's going to snap off. To conclude, this gun gets a 6 out of 10 on the feel rating. It wins the race for performance, but loses it on the physical experience. Hey, let me know if you ever consider buying this gun, and also, tell me which gun you want to see on the next episode.